My name is Mickey Maher. With a company called Unity Technologies, and I run sales and account management, the global sales and account management team for the ad network, Unity Ads.
Yep.
And if the audience doesn't know Unity is the number one game engine, cross-platform game engine in the world. And we are here to democratize game development and enable game developers to be successful and build their games as easily and as beautifully as possible. And with the ads product, Unity has recently added a services suite to their engine. So services meaning cloud build, analytics, ads, etc. And what Unity really wants to do is take it a step farther and not only help game developers build their games, but now, as we've seen, making a business out of game development is hard. So Unity is here to help with that by enabling user acquisition, monetization, analytics. So offering the services in the engine to help game developers not only build a beautiful game, but succeed post-building that game.
It's interesting that you say, that you've helped make developers, actually make games and then make a success out of games.
Right.
Obviously, Unity is an interesting platform because it is a low barrier to entry, but it's also quite high end.
Yeah.
It's sort of democratized the creation process.
Right.
Do you see what sort of percentages are the success rates of games? Like, how do you think the developers approach your platform to make a success out of their games?
Yeah, so I think it's an interesting question, and I think we first have to define what success means, right? Success means something different for everyone. I mean, there are artists, indie game developers, 1 or 2 man studios who are just thrilled in the success in itself just to get a game out the door.
Right.
And we certainly enabled those people for success. And then success could be defined as having a business, something that makes money, something that actually enables game developers to do this as their full-time job. And each individual game can help fund the development of the next game. So the first group, we obviously help by making developing games very easy. Almost anyone can do it with Unity. And then the second group, who actually want to make a business, that's where the services suite comes into play, where you can look at data, we can help you acquire users, we can help you monetize your user base, and just make it easier for businesses to run and succeed on Unity.
We're here at Pocket Gamer Connects in San Francisco, and one of the tracks that we have is the Indie Survival Guide.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's a stereotype, maybe it's not. There is this idea that indies are very good at making critically successful games,
Sure.
but maybe not commercially successful games.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for indies who are looking to monetize their products using, let's say, Unity or something like that? Are there any full-on practical tips?
Yeah, I would say if you're talking about pure monetization, I think where a lot of game developers go wrong, indies or not, is they take a lazy approach to monetization outside of their core IP monetization loop.
Right.
So many game developers want to build this great game that's fun and just want to slap in monetization later. If a game developer really wants to make money and build a business and continue making games as their full-time job, they really have to think of monetization and potentially lean on monetization experts to help them design a monetization loop and a core monetization within that game, whether it be through IAP, ads integration, or what other, the other monetization solutions that are out there.
So let's look at some trends at the moment. What do you think is the most surprising key trend within the industry right now?
If I could talk specifically about mobile, iOS and Android, I think there's we're talking a lot about indies and how hard it is for them to succeed. And I think there's this common notion that it's too expensive to acquire users, it's very hard for indies to succeed on mobile, in the App Store or the Google Play Store. I think it's hard for anyone to succeed, but I see constantly, week after week, new indie developers, new indie games popping up in the top 3 or top paid charts. So it seems to me if you build a good game, it's being discovered, it'll get featured, it'll get noticed, and you'll have some success. So the notion or the common thought that it's impossible for an indie to enter the market and succeed today, I don't necessarily buy it. I think there's potential on these platforms for an indie to get their game discovered and be successful.
Okay. And finally, let's look a little bit into the future.
Yeah.
How do you see ads on mobile specifically and monetization within mobile games? How do you see that evolving and progressing into the future?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. I think we've went from incentivized install offer walls to static interstitials or display or banner ads, and now the big hot thing, the main ad monetization solution is video. And video right now is the solution a game developer should go with. And how do we iterate off that? What's the next step off of that? It's hard to say. There are people experimenting with playable ads where they take the game SKU and you can play the ad the game within the ad. That really hasn't got that much traction yet. Will it get traction? I don't know. It's up in the air. And I think there is some room for more natively integrated placements for, let's say, brand ads. When brands really want to get into mobile gaming in a big way, they're really going to want a native experience. So I think there will be opportunity for game developers to sell some native space, whether it's the side of a blimp or a billboard or a video in the game with a TV commercial, some kind of native experience that's core to the game. I think will be a big opportunity in the next 1 to 2 years.